Taking it back to the old school way I used to record videos, sitting in front of the aquarium. I don't know, this should be fun. So you got your new aquarium all up and running, things are looking great, you're ready for the most exciting part of this whole hobby, and that's buying the fish. The decisions you make when it comes to buying your fish will either make or break this hobby for you. If you're a new fish keeper, you need to pay attention because you really don't want to start off this hobby on the wrong foot. But don't worry, because I've got you covered. Here is my list of the top 10 things you should think about before buying fish. If you like this kind of content, you should definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you know any other things that fish keepers should think about when buying fish, put them down in the comment section below. If you're someone that only has one aquarium or you just set up your first aquarium, this is going to be one of the most difficult decisions to make because you're going to look around at the fish stores, you're going to see everything and you're going to want it all. You'll see those poor betta fish in the cups and you'll want to save them. Then you'll see those silly Oscars with their googly eyes and you'll just fall in love. Then you'll see the guppies with their gorgeous fins and convicts with their distinct black bars, and you're just going to want to take them all home. Just hang on a second, that's got disaster written all over it. It sure would be cool though. This, in my opinion, is the decision you need to spend the most time on. We're going to cover some of the specifics as we go on in this video, but there's one main point I want to make here. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is going into the fish store to shop for fish having no idea what you want. Yeah, it can be fun to figure it out as you go, but it can also be super frustrating. When we had our fish store, we would see it all the time. People would come in and they'd just start browsing and they'd say, I want one of those. Okay. Oh, and one of those too. They're cute. And oh, one of those. Wait a minute. Those can't really go with this one. Okay, well, how about this one with that one? No, that won't work either. This one? This would go on and on, sometimes for almost an hour, and sometimes the customers would get so frustrated, they'd end up just leaving the store and not buying any fish at all. The point is, have a good understanding of what it is that you want, what you're looking for, at least the different types of fish that you're looking for. It can save you a whole lot of time, and it can save you a whole lot of frustration, and I guess you could say it could even save you money because you're not going to buy fish that are going to end up getting killed by the fish that you already have and all of that. Just trust me, it'll save you a lot of gray hairs. How many fish can I get? This is another one that can lead to a ton of frustration if you're not prepared before going into the fish store. There's only about 3 million different factors that'll dictate how many fish you can get. What size is your aquarium? How much filtration is on it? How big do the fish get? And so on and so on. If you set up a 20-gallon aquarium, it's a no-brainer to go into the fish store and say, give me 12 of those pretty little platies. But if you say, give me 12 of those ballast sharks, this could be a problem. Again, just like number 10, now you're frustrated. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like opening presents on Christmas morning, not something that just keeps breaking your heart over and over and over again. Being prepared before you even walk in the door is critical. At least know the type of fish you want, meaning live bearers, community fish, or cichlids. If you at least know what type of fish you want, it'll narrow things down where you'll be able to say, okay, I know my tank can handle fish within this category. The more you know before even walking into the door at the fish store, the better off your experience is going to be. I want to jump in here real quick and give you a little bit of a quiz. I put 4 new fish into this tank yesterday. Lisa bought them for me as a surprise gift. It was wonderful. If you've been following this channel for a while, you probably know the fish that I have in there. See if you can spot the new ones. Put them down in the comment section below. And if you're curious about what those fish are, I'm going to do a video that's going to come up on Tuesday, which who knows when you're watching this, but it'll be up in just a few days. Fish compatibility is another huge source of frustration for people that are new to this hobby. This fish can't go with that fish because this one gets too big and it'll eat that one. Or these can't mix because they require different water parameters. This one needs a sand substrate while this one is better off with gravel. This one likes live plants while this one eats live plants. Compatibility issues are one of those things that can just go on and on and on, and it's another thing that can get you so frustrated that you just walk out of the fish store without buying anything. But don't worry, I've got you covered. I'm going to keep this easy for you. The first place to start is going to be the type of fish. Nice and peaceful community fish, live bears that can fill your tank full of a bunch of babies, cichlids that have a reputation for being mean, or monsters that need an aquarium that's as big as a house. Once you know the type of fish, then we can break it down even further. You decide you want cichlids. Okay, it sounds like you and I could be friends. Well, cichlids break down into a few categories. One would be South and Central American cichlids that have a reputation of being aggressive and are usually kept in smaller numbers. Then you have African cichlids, which are known to be best kept in groups to keep aggression down. And then you have cichlids that are more peaceful and mix well with community fish. Hopefully you understand where I'm going with this. Understanding a fish's compatibility with other fish can be extremely overwhelming. In fact, I'll probably do a whole 10 things video about it. The key is research, research, research. It's not hard to do research these days. Decide the main focal point type of fish that you want. Then you can research what fish are compatible with that one. Start with the main fish first, and then pick other stuff that can go with it. It's a difficult decision, but trust me, the more time you put into this, the better. In fact, we've done some 10 things episodes of different tank mates for some really popular fish. I'll put a card up in the corner so you can check those out. And get ready to fall down a rabbit hole. The answer to the question, is your tank ready, is more than just, well, yeah, I mean, I filled it up with water and I plugged in the filter, so I guess it's ready. Just because your filter is running doesn't mean it's ready. It still has to cycle. I can see so many of you right now rolling your eyes like, oh God, John's gonna talk about the cycle again. Well, give me a break, because this channel is all about trying to help the new fish keeper, help keep fish keepers fish keeping, and understanding the cycle is the most critical aspect of this hobby that everybody needs to understand. So just work with me here. Here's the deal in a nutshell. Your aquarium has life in it that helps keep the parameters of the water in balance and safe for your fish. A brand new tank doesn't have any of this life in it yet. So when you throw fish in there, feed them, and they start producing waste, there's nothing in the tank to balance that out. And what happens is your fish end up suffocating and dying. This is very simple to get through, though. It's just not something that I can cover in this video. The video would be way too long, but I do have some videos that I'll link right here if you want to check those out that explain the cycling process in depth. Trust me, this is the number one thing that any fish keeper needs to grasp. Have a good understanding of this before you go out and get fish. I'm not one of those people that believes you have to cycle the tank prior to putting fish in it. I am a firm believer, and I've done it about 1,000 times. You can cycle an aquarium safely with fish in it, but you have to know what you're doing. So watch those videos. You'll be a lot more comfortable with it, and it won't be something that'll ruin this hobby for you. You might hear this question and you might think it's silly, but are you ready? The natural response to that is probably, well, yeah, duh, I made the decision I want to get an aquarium, so yeah, I'm ready. Oh, the world we live in right now. We're so used to just being able to push a button or tap our thumb and get whatever it is we want instantly. It's amazing, but not always. There are so many aquariums purchased every day on impulse. You're at the pet store getting something completely unrelated to fish, and you walk by that starter kit and think, oh, that would be fun. Now, this is a good thing. We want you to get involved in this amazing hobby, but a lot of people dive headfirst into an aquarium because they think it's just fill it up with water and feed them every once in a while, but it's so much more than that. This is going to make Lisa so happy because she's one of those crazy cat ladies, believe me. But let's use cats as an analogy. You don't just make the decision to have a cat and then you just go buy one and say, okay, I have a cat now. You gotta feed it, give it toys to play with so it doesn't destroy everything in your house. You've gotta provide the cat with a litter box and take it to the vet to get shots and get spayed or neutered. There's a lot to it, but it's all worth it because that cat will quickly become a member of the family. Well, fish tanks are the same way. You've got to feed the fish, you've got to make sure their water is clean and safe, you got to maintain the aquarium and keep it looking nice. It's a lot of work, but just like with cats, it's so worth it because your fish will become important parts of the family and can be that thing that helps you calm down after a hard day. Just understand it's more than just filling up a glass box with water. There's a lot involved in successfully keeping an aquarium, but it's absolutely worth it. Just understand what you're getting into before you spend any money, particularly before you buy an aquarium on impulse. I promise this is going to be the only preachy segment in the video. I'm just doing my job here. Whether you have one aquarium on your desk or you set up multiple tanks in your garage, it's inevitable. You're going to run into problems at some point, and having a good understanding of what you'll do in the event of a problem is going to make things so much more relaxing for you. I'm not going to tell you you have to go out and buy duplicates of everything so that you have backups. All I'm saying is put some thought into it so that you can be prepared. Story time. I talked to a guy a long time ago and he said, "You're never going to believe this. I got up to go to work the other day and went to feed my fish before I left and found 2 dead fish in the tank and the rest were at the top gasping for air. I was in a hurry and didn't know what else to do, so I put some water in a bucket and put the fish that were still alive in there till I got home. I get home that evening and the bucket is gone. I asked my family if they moved that bucket and my son said, I used it to wash mom's car." So he said to his son, "Well, what did you do with the water that was in it?" He said, "Well, I just dumped it out in the flower bed." And sure enough, when he looked in the flower bed, there they were, a bunch of dead fish. It was like 5 or 6 black mollies, so it would be easy for the kid to dump the water into the flower bed and not even see the fish in there. The point is, have a plan, know exactly what you're gonna do if things break bad, because it's inevitable, they're going to. And I promise you, it's never gonna happen at a convenient time. It's always gonna be really late at night or when you're getting ready to go somewhere or when you're getting ready to leave for work. It's not gonna happen at a time where everything lines up and you can just take your time fixing it. No, it's gonna happen at the worst time. So be prepared. Now is the fun part. It's time to finally go and buy the fish. You've got your tank running, you understand the cycling process, you have a backup plan, you're fully prepared for the amount of work that's involved in keeping a successful aquarium. Everything is in line. It's time to go get the fish. But the question is, where do you go to get them? When it's time to buy your fish, you've got several options. You can buy from your local fish store, big box stores, or you can order them online. Now, before you experienced fish keepers start blasting the comment section, I am well aware that there's things like aquarium clubs and Craigslist and things like that. But this is a video that's really supposed to be geared for new fish keepers, and most of them aren't going to be involved in aquarium clubs yet. And is Craigslist even really still a thing? Anyway, if you have a small mom and pop fish store in your town, this is going to be a great place to start. They're a great place to start because in a lot of cases, you'll be dealing direct with the owner of the store. So they have a vested interest in making sure you have a good experience. In fact, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to tell you to look for. This is all new to you, so going in a store like that, you should be greeted and made to feel comfortable. Fish keepers understand that we've all been where you are now, and it can be really scary. Having someone that'll help you get started is a big deal. It's also a good idea to look around and see the general appearance of the whole store. Look at all of the different tanks and see how the fish look. Are they healthy? Do they look sick? Are they sluggish and lethargic? Or are they all nice and happy and springy? And is springy really springy? If you walk in and the place reeks of fish and there's algae and dead fish everywhere, this might not be the place you want to buy your first fish. But having said that, I've had some of my best experiences in fish stores that are super dirty. I guess it just depends on the total package. If you walk in and you're greeted by a friendly staff that helps you to make the right decisions and sells you some amazing fish, it's easy to overlook some of those messy tanks. I don't think you'll find anybody that'll argue that you're going to get the most personal attention from these local mom and pop pet stores. And the cool thing is you'll even get to know the staff in there, and you never know, you might even make some new friends. I could give you a list of 10 to 12 people that we met for the first time as customers at our fish store when we had it. We don't have it anymore, but we met those people. They were customers. They walked in the door to be a customer of ours, and now they are friends, and they're probably going to be friends for life. So it's amazing what can happen at these local mom and pop stores. Believe me, I know from experience. It just goes to show you that this is a beautiful community. Okay, here's the first controversial thing I'm going to say in this video. Big box pet stores like PetSmart and Petco are not this gigantic nightmare that a lot of people are going to lead you to believe they are. Yes, it's true they can be a completely different experience than your local mom and pop pet store, but not always. I've had some amazing experiences in big box pet stores. In fact, I've even documented one of those experiences. It was a lot of fun. I'll put a card up here to a video I did all about it. If you don't believe me, just watch that. The truth is, a lot of people just naturally hate big business. They look at a store like PetSmart or Petco as the man and don't want to have anything to do with it. But in my opinion, these stores play a vital role in this hobby. These are the stores that people will usually turn to first, and it's these stores that a lot of times will sell people their very first tank. As someone that's revolved my entire YouTube career around helping new fish keepers get into this hobby, I got a lot of respect for stores that kind of specialize in that. And newsflash, I'm going to let you in on a little secret that not a lot of other people are going to tell you. The mom and pop pet stores that you buy from because you're so confident that they're going to have the best fish from the best places, well, a lot of them do, but a lot of them also buy from the exact same distributors that sell to PetSmart and Petco's. How dare you, John? My local pet store doesn't buy from those distributors. Okay. If you're a new fish keeper, you might be surprised to hear that you can actually order fish through websites and have them shipped directly to your house through the mail. It's an amazing thing, and a lot of people don't even know that it's an option. And let me tell you something. Every single fish, without exception, every single one of these that you see behind me came from online retailers, and they got shipped directly to us. And like I talked about earlier, 4 of them came in yesterday. Stay tuned till Tuesday to watch that video. Yes, it's a completely different buying experience, but for some people it might be the only option you've got, especially if there's a specific fish you've got your eye on and your local stores don't carry it. I know it might sound crazy, but fish being shipped overnight from UPS, FedEx, and the Postal Service is pretty common now. Many companies have gotten really good at packaging fish to be shipped, and unless there's some major catastrophe with an airline or a natural disaster, the fish is going to get to you in perfect shape. When it comes to selecting the right online retailer, you're going to want to do your due diligence and do your research just like you would on any other product. Browse their website, read their About Us page, read reviews, and watch videos of people unboxing fish from those dealers, and you should know enough to make a good decision. I promise you, whatever retailer you're thinking about buying from, if you go to YouTube and type in the name of that retailer followed by unboxing, you're going to probably find dozens and dozens of videos done by YouTubers that are going to show you the whole process and give you a review of how the whole experience was for them. Now, you might be one of those people that's still thinking, that's impossible. There's no way you can order fish online and they're going to pack them up in bags and ship them to your door. It's just, there's no way they could do that safely. Well, I just have one little thing to say to you. How do you think they got to your fish store? Buying fish is the best part of this hobby. We all love it. It's just an amazing thing to buy a new pet, bring it home, and introduce it to the family. We all love that. But there are so many things in this hobby that can happen, and it's absolutely critical that you have a good support system in place before you even do anything, especially before you buy fish. This is another reason why having a good local fish store can make or break this hobby for you. If something goes wrong, you know you'll have someone you can turn to for help. But what about those times where you just can't make it to the fish store, or they're too busy to answer your questions on the phone because they've got 50 customers at the store that they're dealing with? Or what about if you're like me and you don't even have a local fish store? Well, this is when having places to go online could be a lifesaver for your fish. The online fish keeping community is one of the best I've ever been a part of, and it seems like there's always someone out there that's willing to help. Yes, I know the internet can be a mean, dark place, but this is why it's so critical that you find somewhere that you're comfortable. There are tons of websites, Facebook groups, and forums out there full of good people that literally can't wait for someone to ask a question, because helping people is one of the best parts of this hobby for them. And I'm personally not a fan of Facebook. It just doesn't work for me. But I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are not like me and they use Facebook all the time. You can find several different Facebook groups that are specifically for new fish keepers that might be running into problems. One is my group, the Tank Talk group. I'm not in there all that much, but it is a group of amazing people. I think there's almost 17,000 people in there now. Then they are ready to help you out if you're not afraid of Facebook like me. Between your local fish store, big box store, and online groups, you shouldn't have any problems getting good information that helps you enjoy this hobby to its fullest extent. Oh, and one last thing that I want to say about support and all of this. I'm just looking out for you here. I want to give you a little bit of personal advice. Don't go and buy all of your tank and all your equipment and all of your stuff from PetSmart, Petco, and Amazon because they're the cheapest. And then when you run into trouble, run to your local pet store. I mean, it's just mean to do that. But some of the owners might still help you out, thinking they might win you over as a customer down the road. But if you think about it, that's just wrong.